great start.
Get in there.
Okay.
What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are having a good one. We are now live. This is the Gamerz Realm with no episode. This is just a highlights wrap up of E3 that just happened this weekend. Of course, my name is Kotetsu. We have CHICHUKI here with us.
Yep.
We have CHRONOZ.
What's up, guys?
Ryan.
Hey, how's it going?
And my one-up crew partner, Cliff.
How's it going, guys?
So, like I said before, this is just a wrap up of E3. E3 just finished up after the Bandai Namco showcase. And so pretty much we're just going to talk about, what we thought of E3, what we liked, what we didn't expect, and, just anything else that just kind of glorifies E3 this weekend. So, it's kind of an open round table talk. So if anyone wants to start off, feel free to kick it off. No one? Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. So I guess I'll start off, I guess. So pretty much, me and Cliff and our other crew member, Adam, we sat and watched all of E3 this weekend, and we've seen something. We saw some announcements that we didn't expect. We saw games that we had a small interest in, and after seeing the trailers and the footage and just hearing the details of it, we're like, okay, this is something that we can probably get into. And I overall had a great time watching E3. They had some moments that I was really excited for. The games that I was excited for really excited for is Guardians of the Galaxy. That one was a game I was not expecting. I have a reaction video up of me literally screaming at the fact that this is freaking Star-Lord and we're getting a Guardians game. And I was like, yo, pre-ordering like today, and I did. The day of I saw it, the day they got the pre-order, because they got my money and I wanted it. And they had some other ones on Xbox too that I preloaded everything that they allowed me to, because they said every game from here on out, every game they release is going to be on Game Pass, and everything was preloaded. Like every announcement they said, I preloaded it because it looked great. Back 4 Blood, I was already interested in that. The fact that it's on Game Pass, I'm really happy I don't have to spend money on it because I already have it technically. Forza Horizons 5 is a game that I didn't expect to like so much, but after seeing it, I played it and I installed 4 just to get a feel of it, and I'm like, yeah, 5 is gonna be freaking awesome. And I like what they're doing with Halo. They're making Halo a free-to-play multiplayer now. It's not just going to be, the main game with the story and then multiplayer. They said, how can we broaden our audience? How can we cast a larger net for our audience for people who wanted to always try the multiplayer but didn't want to spend that money? Because it's like Call of Duty, every new one that comes out, everyone gravitates to that new one, even if it's not what they expect, or not everyone's going to be there. The majority of the player base is going to be there. So the fact that they're like, let's make a multiplayer experience that's free for everyone who's always been curious about it to be able to jump in and play. And I think that's a great idea. I think they're going to be really successful with that because it's Halo, because it's the name Halo on it. Of course, people are going to be like, "Oh, it's free. Oh, let's do it." Nintendo today was great. We had a good time with it. I freaked out over Kazuya being announced for Smash. I literally said, "Everyone, I'm never losing now because Kazuya's in Smash, because I'm a Kazuya main in Tekken. So now Kazuya's in Smash, and it's pretty much done." And then what else? They had Mario Golf. They're bringing back Mario Party again. So there's just so many great games besides just the Nintendo presentation that they've showed all through E3 this week, and I feel like I had a good time with it overall. So that's my take on it.
top game from Microsoft, Kotetsu. Let me hear that from you.
Top game that they showed off at
yeah,
E3.
top game that you're looking forward to the most from Microsoft.
That's hard. Because there's two. There's two. I'm looking forward for Back 4 Blood. And Redfall. That Bethesda announced at the end of the show. Because I feel like that it's gonna have a little bit of that a little bit of like a Left 4 Dead kind of feel, but everyone has like different abilities. Like you saw one of the chicks, she had like this ability to create this astral projection tower that can take people other places, and it looked like someone has like a cloaking ability, and they have a little robot companion. So it's even though you saw that it's a cinematic trailer, you can still kind of tell like what we're going to expect from this game. So those are probably Back 4 Blood is my number one, but I think Redfall is like something that I would like to see more on. So anyone else? Anyone want to? They have theirs.
You know what? I guess I'll go next. I did a semi-live reaction video for Nintendo this morning or this afternoon, whatever you want to call it, because at the start Nintendo was being a little stingy with who they were letting. They tweeted out that they weren't going to let people co-stream it, and that caused the internet to go like into a shitstorm for about 25 minutes because it came out like maybe a half hour before the presentation was actually going to start. And then we had people saying one thing and then other people were saying another. But I was going to do a live reaction video to it anyway because, my 500 plus subscribers, Nintendo and YouTube don't give a shit about me. So I didn't watch most of the other presentations. I followed on things on Twitter and Twitch and stuff to just get my fill. I am looking forward to Demon Throttle and Fire Girl. Those were the two games that I saw before today and a little bit of yesterday that I'm really looking forward to. Demon Throttle is an old school, I guess, two-person shooter, two-person shmup. Might be the best way to describe that. It looks like it's from the 80s, so you could go to an arcade and play it, put some change in, and looks fantastic. The only issue that it's getting killed on is that it's not digital; it's physical only. From what is it, Super Rare? I think is.
Yeah.
Doing that, they're taking a lot of heat for that, and I think they might have modified what they decided to do it. I think they may be doing something with their games that they're going to allow digital, but don't hold me to any of that. All I know is I pre-ordered it already because I'm an idiot when it comes to things like, oh, it's going to be limited. You won't be able to get it. So, I'm stupid and I bought it immediately. Fire Girl is a game where it's like a platformer that is semi like Minecraft in a way that it looks like Minecraft graphically, that you're going through fires, buildings on fire and things like that. You're playing an actual role of a female firefighter, which the fire department has a big role, meaning in my life. My dad used to be a firefighter years ago, and that looks fun. It looks fantastic to me.
Yeah.
Limited Run, I felt knocked it out of the park yesterday with their presentation, as corny as the editing was and all that terrible joke, like worse than dad jokes in the presentation. If anybody saw it, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, watch it, you'll know. They brought out River City Girls 0 and River City Girls 2. I love River City Girls. It looks fantastic. Castlevania, the old school Castlevania games, Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night they're bringing out. And then there were others. Contra is getting a collector's edition in physical. For those who don't know, Limited Run is a company that makes digital games into physical cartridges and things like that, just in case you didn't know. They do take a long time to deliver, which is my knock with Limited Run, but that's not why we're here. Nintendo, I know a lot of people were like, oh, can they save E3? E3 doesn't need saving. E3,
yeah, exactly.
E3 is what it is, and it just depends on how good or bad companies are going to take it. And I felt Nintendo again knocked it out of the park with their presentation. What is it? Kazuya? Is that? I'm blanking on his name. I knew it was. I thought it was either going to be the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer or the Smash reveal. The minute I saw the video, because I was like, "Oh, there's dead Ganondorf." It's like, "Oh, okay, that could."
That's
be
what a lot of people said.
I was like, it could be either the trailer or the reveal. But then I was like, "Oh, it's probably the reveal. They're not going to start with the Breath of the Wild trailer."
You wanted to trick us at first.
Well, that's what they do with the Smash reveals. They try to pull a fast one on you all the time. Like with Banjo-Kazooie, they had the Duck Hunt dog, things like that. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I'm not the biggest Smash player, but I love video game music. And I know Tekken has some really good
Tekken has the best,
excuse me. Water's not sitting too well. Looking for that. I wasn't expecting to see WarioWare and Metroid. I wasn't expecting to see Metroid at all. Just because they like F-Zero, they don't care about any of those games. And I was shocked that Metroid actually got the 2D game that they've been talking about for a long time. I'm not shocked that scalpers have pretty much stolen all the pre-orders already.
Oh, I got mine the second.
It didn't occur to me.
It went up.
You know, it didn't occur to me to even look because I've been burnt on these pre-orders the day before. And I was like, fuck it, I don't care. So then I
just download it.
Like they're sold out. Well, I want the, I kind of want the amiibo, and I kind of want the.
I'll just try to run after
the art cards.
Yeah, I got both of them like right away. Like after it got done, like I was like, "Yo, I'm looking," and then I saw the amiibo and I grabbed those, and then Cliff was like, "Yo, the game's up on Best Buy." And I was like, what? So I saw it and I saw the collectors and I got it. And I feel bad because Cliff was right behind me looking. He was like, they're sold out. And I was like, did I technically grab the last ones before
Yeah. Freaking Best Buy, man.
But it's like that,
I was like, I felt so bad.
That aggravates the hell out of me. It's like it's probably only been up for pre-order for an hour at the time they get sold out. But Nintendo does this all the time. I mean, they don't control when Target puts it up, but they do control how many copies Target gets.
GameStop doesn't have it out.
None of them have it available. Yeah. GameStop sold out, Best Buy sold out, Walmart didn't list it, and Target has it sold out.
And so does Amazon. Amazon, they're gone on Amazon too. Because I don't get stuff like this all the time. So the second I saw it, I'm like, okay, this is something I would want. So I immediately was just boom, 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 and I just got it right away.
I don't usually get this stuff either unless I'm a really big fan of the series. Like if it was a Mario thing, I probably would have covered my bases for hours.
Yeah.
Or a Pokemon thing, I might cover my ass for a few hours to watch it. But I missed out on the Zelda Joy-Cons last time.
I did too. I was mad about that.
And I really wanted those, but I'm not paying $300 for $80 Joy-Cons.
Exactly.
But Nintendo does this all the time. I mean, they create a mass exodus or whatever for this stuff that shouldn't happen. They should just create more product. But I did get the Game & Watch. That was up on GameStop, and I pre-ordered the Game & Watch because I want the Game & Watch.
Yeah, that one looks cool.
Watch. That looks fun. That looks cool. I don't know if I was hoping they were going to have Link to the Past on it. But whatever. So what was I talking about? Nintendo?
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. I'm looking forward to Shin Megami Tensei. I've never played a Shin Megami Tensei game before.
Me too.
That game looks really good. Same with Danganronpa. I might grab that. I've never played a Danganronpa game either. But that looks interesting. I know of the stories of the Danganronpa, but I've never played one myself. Because I've never really been into PC gaming too often, or PS whatever number they were on, 3, whatever. Because I had a PS3 for a DVD player, and that was it for the longest time. What else? I have the email up from the press release. I want to see if I hit everything that I want to talk about. Metroid, Breath of the Wild 2, WarioWare. My brother's gonna really like Rabbids, the Mario Rabbids. My older brother loved the first game.
Yeah,
I'm not into strategy turn-based like that, so I didn't get into that too much. And then let's see, there are other games. The one that aggravates me the most because there was one. When I saw the Mario Party video, I was
you
like,
thought it was DLC.
I did. I thought it was updating for
Poor
the old
Steve.
one,
Poor
which,
Steve.
which is the
Same.
smart thing to do. Would have been to have this be downloadable content for Mario Super Party or Super Mario Party instead of making me buy. I mean, people are complaining about having to buy the amiibo for Skyward Sword behind a lock content for $15 to $20 and another Zelda game for $60. I mean, nobody, it seems like, is complaining about Mario Party Superstars, which is the same, which is the last
because they don't understand it.
Because they don't care.
Yeah, I don't care enough, maybe.
If it was any other game in any other franchise that was trying to make you buy this, like, what is it? Yeah, Mario Party 1, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 7,
Yeah,
10,
that's a fair point.
something. But
That's a fair
And-
The
point.
funny thing is that I kind of felt that was gonna happen. Like when they announced online
I didn't.
for Mario Party, like the first game, I was like, yeah, they're probably like doing it to test out like for a new game.
That's what confused me. I was like, we just got an online feature for this game, so why would they? That's why I was confused. That's why I was asking questions. I was like, wait, so what is this? What is this? 'Cause I was
Yeah,
like, didn't we just get? I was asking, what is it? What's happening? I was like, didn't we just get an online for Mario Party? Why would a month later we hear we're getting a new game? We guys just gave us online for this game that we've been asking you guys about, instead of just saying, hey, new Mario Party, come, or just giving us, like Steve said, giving us everything and just in this.
but
it was basically like a beta test.
if it
beta
was
test
a
for
new Mario
online.
Party, this would be all fine. Nobody would care. It would be considered appropriate because it's a new Mario Party
Yeah,
with
it's like a mini game collection with 3 boards, right? I think
it's
is what
like it's like four
It's like
classic
sports. I'm pretty
and
sure.
100 of the mini games.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I feel like they don't know how to handle Mario Party right now.
It's basically like what the top 100 should have been.
That's true. The top 100, everybody says should have been on Switch, and it should have been.
Mhm.
But I mean, when I made my video, I saw it and I was like, "Oh, Mario Party. Okay, this is going to be. These are like classic boards for the classic Mario parties." And then you tell me it's a new game. It's like it's not a new game. It's the same game that because no one has a way to play the classic Mario parties, they're just going to bring out the classic Mario parties on Switch because we can't come up with new ideas and we have to port everything to Switch.
it should have just DLC'd it.
They
For the new one.
totally
Mm,
should have
yeah.
DLC'd it
I would agree with
or
that.
given us a free update. I mean, they waited for 2 years to give us online content
Yeah.
for Mario Party to begin with. Why not just make it free?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And then the last thing, it wasn't announced at E3, but it was announced prior to, is Doki Doki Literature Club coming to Switch.
Yeah,
I have
Yeah,
it
I
on
saw
Steam.
that.
I have it on Steam. I've never played it, and I've had it on Steam, and I wanted to stream it, but I pre-ordered it for Switch, and I'm playing it. Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, that's cool. Thank you,
There you
Chichuki,
go.
for that.
There's my hot takes.
Oh man. Anyone else want to go? I got some hot takes, but I'm waiting till the end to say mine.
Yeah, I'll just slot in whenever.
You started already.
it's
You
good.
Oh.
started
Mine's
your hot
probably-
takes.
No, I haven't even gotten started yet.
no,
So-
he
I'll be
hasn't.
short.
I haven't
Yeah.
gotten started yet, but go ahead.
I'll be short real quick because I don't have a whole lot to say, and I don't want to talk booty today. So
Why not?
let's see.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I am.
I don't want to.
I can bash. I can bash.
Yeah, I will be too. Honestly.
Oh man.
I don't
You
want to
can.
ban too much, you know.
Because you already did it.
Well, I didn't do it. I'd actually, you know what? When I didn't do it this time, I didn't say like "fuck this, fuck that." I think I would normally be like cursing and then
man.
I took a little more mild this year than last year because last year I know it was bad, but or maybe more
There was
recent
nothing.
too. But
there was nothing on last year. How could you badmouth the
that's why I
No,
bitched
he's talking about a
last
specific
year, and I
direct.
bitched
I
about it
remember,
wrong.
I remember
So-
the reaction to the direct.
Fuck this, fuck that.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go by quick till I get to my favorites. I mean, I did watch the Microsoft, the whole thing, and I wasn't I'm not like a big fan like some other people, and some of it was good. I saw a lot of shooting games and things like that. Wasn't a big interest. Halo was cool. Other than that, again, it's good for some and not good for others. But it's I wish I had an Xbox to get one, but then again, I probably won't anymore. Square Enix I thought was decent for me. I did like the Avengers Black Panther, probably, and anything Final Fantasy, but that's pretty much it. So it wasn't a lot coming from that for myself. I did not see the Capcom, but I heard it was terrible shit. That's what I heard. But I can't say nothing because I didn't see it. You know, other than going to Nintendo's Direct today, I was not super thrilled with it. Maybe I was trying to say I wasn't expecting, and maybe I was behind the door expecting too much, and just kind of like, you know what, next time I'm not ever gonna deal, or whenever I hear a rumor, I don't give a shit about any rumors. I'm done with it because that ruins your day when you come to the big thing where there was tons of rumors, and now it's like, all right, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just gonna take it the way it is. Well, I did love I like the fact that they did announce that they were working hard on Metroid Prime 4. That was good enough for me for that part. So I was like, okay, cool. And then of course we got the Metroid 5, which blew me away, and I thought that was great. I can't wait for it. I did not go and reserve it. I didn't feel like I have to go rush to it. I'll try looking tomorrow. I'll check there's a lot of GameStops in my area, and I'll call them all tomorrow and see if they got something available. I'll reserve it and Amiibo, whatever. But
the game is going to be easy to reserve. The other stuff is not going to be easy to reserve.
I'll check for that too. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Just first thing I wake up in the morning, just call them all up and see which one I can grab if I can snap one.
Hell, you can pre-order the game probably like a week before the release.
Yeah, the game is probably easier to
the store.
get.
Honestly,
It's the extra stuff that comes with it, like the special edition one and the amiibos are something that you're like I regret not getting Samus Returns amiibo. And then the other, or today when I was just looking up Samus figures, because I was feeling I wanted one, I found it on Amazon for like $200, and I'm like, that's probably the lowest I'm ever gonna see the amiibo be at, is at $200.
So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try too for it tomorrow. But let's see, what else did I like? I did like Guardians. Guardians was cool. I wish it would be more I guess I got to get used to new characters, and your main guys. It's a whole different look. So, but it's okay. I'm still gonna like it because I wanted something like that, and I don't think there has been a Guardian game.
There's never been a Guardians game. There's never been a Guardians game.
And that's
why
what
it wasn't popular until the movie, basically.
So yeah, ever since the movie, so it was great. What's up, Phil? Phil's in the house.
Hey, what's going on, Phil?
But again, I did enjoy some of those key things with Guardian, and then I it was cool. Wario was there. I did like the Smash Bros. Introduction. I did love I did my reaction on when he had Kirby and he dropped them out. That was funny. I really enjoyed that a lot. So. But I'm not going to get Smash Bros. I had it already a couple times. Maybe later on along the road I'll rebuy it, maybe. But other than that, I think it was still good. That piece there. I like Zelda. I wish that they had it longer. I wish that they just teased us again, and maybe it's good for them just to tease us a bit more. And it was just, it is what it is. The Game & Watch Zelda, I really want that too. But back to the Metroid thing it was it is what it is. I think most of it I didn't care for. Maybe 7% of the direct. I was like, okay, whatever, just those key points. I'm gonna go back into my part of when I did a presentation yesterday, and I love the Intellivision how do you say Intellivision it was short, it was 10 minutes. The Intellivision direct was Intellivision E3 presentation was actually out of all of it. I did like that the most. I guess I'm just more something new for me. What I've been getting the hype this past several months. I loved some of the new games they showed, but just kind of Tommy was talking, and I think it was just perfect the way it was, and I can't wait. It's the controllers that really get me, and I love the lighting effects on the system and the controllers themselves. So that still carried me on for me. As my favorite part of the entire E3 and Nintendo I'll take right behind it, maybe for second. But other than that, still, and I appreciate it overall. Just, just I'm just excited for couch playing, my family and everyone else, and what I want. So that's my take on the entire E3. Is that I enjoyed a lot of the Intellivision AMICO portion of it the most. Let's see.
All right, cool. Ryan, Cliff, either one.
I'm ready.
All right,
Yeah,
go
fill
ahead.
me in towards more like the end, because like you said, I got a few things to
All
say,
right.
and some of
Yeah,
it's a bit of a rant.
All right. I mean, whoever wants to go. Cliff, did you want to? You said you wanted to go. Go
Cliff,
ahead and
you
go.
should go ahead, I think.
Oh, don't worry.
Okay.
We're gonna get to all sides of presentations.
Okay, so I mean, it's gonna be pretty huge. Like
And even stuff outside.
Wrapped up like
outside.
all of the all of this E3 showcasing, and I kind of like wrapped it up to like my top 3 so far. And before that, earlier, like on I think it was like Friday or Saturday, there was some indie showcasings, and there was a lot of cool indie games that were announced. And I think it was during the Summer Games Fest, like the pre-show, they showed off Metal Slug Tactics, which looks really cool. It's like they're taking the Metal Slug IP and like it kind of makes sense for that type of game, because Metal Slug, you have tanks and everything. So I can't wait for that game. Just for like a small little indie title. And then
that's what they showed on Thursday, right? I thought that was Thursday. They showed that off.
Thursday or Friday.
Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
And then like for like the main 3, I'll probably say that my main 3 were Ubisoft, Microsoft, and Nintendo. For Ubisoft, my favorite titles were Rabbids being number 1, because that was just like that's been rumored for like so long, and just to finally see it, I think what like killed it for some reason, it just like because it got leaked like by Nintendo themselves. That like if it wasn't for that, like it would have been like a really nice surprise to see at the end.
Yeah.
Next to that, Far Cry 6 Extraction. I mean, Far Cry 6.
I was like, you mean Rainbow Six Extraction, or Rainbow Six Extraction, or Far Cry 6?
No, I have
got
both.
you got me mixed up now.
No, like I have both on the list. So I saw 6. I was like, wait, did I like do a typo? No, but like Far Cry 6, I am interested in that game. I've never played Far Cry, but like I'm kind of liking like the tone that the game is setting. Avatar, when they announced that at the end of the Ubisoft event, that was just kind of unexpected. I did not expect an Avatar game from them.
Exactly.
And then the game I actually meant to say, R6 Extraction, which looks kind of cool. It's taking the R6 IP and like it's adding like a slight horrorness to it, which I kind of like, because like you have the horror aspect, but then you also have the fact that you can have 3 of your friends, and you have to work together trying to defeat this thing, and it's kind of cool. Next would be Riders Republic, because that game looks really cool. It seems like it'll be a nice game to play with friends. Still, because you have different sports you could try out. And then lastly was when they announced DLC for Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, that was hilarious how you reacted to that.
Oh my God, it's Aiden Pierce.
Because he was like, wait, what? Aiden? And we're all sitting there like, yeah, Aiden's coming. When did you just realize that? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, we watched last year's Ubisoft Forward, and they even said he was coming to DLC later. He was like, I
forgot about that.
We're like, dude, like what the heck, man?
God.
We were all there watching that at the same time.
Yeah.
We're all there watching it.
Okay, so like that pretty much wraps up Ubisoft. For Microsoft, the games for their presentation would be Redfall, because that's a pretty for to be a new IP from Bethesda. That was actually really interesting. Just the whole vampire demon around it, and it's very similar to like R6 Extraction, where it's another co-op game that has a horror aspect. Well, not really horror, but a zombie kind of infestation vibe to it. And it's a game that I'm gonna have on my wish list just for whenever it comes out. Back 4 Blood, really similar to Redfall in a similar way. When they first announced Back 4 Blood, I was like, okay, it's Left 4 Dead, but it's a new tone to it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna immediately try it out. Halo multiplayer. I'm not really a big Halo fan, but I do like going on to the multiplayer like from time to time. So that was really interesting that they're gonna make it a free to play, so like anyone could just pick it up and play it. Forza Horizon. Katetsu mentioned this earlier. Like both me and him have not played a Forza game at all, but when they showed off like all of like the cool and neat and wacky modes that you can do it, we were kind of like surprised by it. They're kind of like making it to like a sandbox game where you can just do whatever you want, and that's kind of cool.
Game. Beautiful game.
Yeah, like it looks really good. Like it looks pretty and it looks really realistic to actual life.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds 2, which I don't think anyone saw that coming. Like that was just like a real big surprise. And then lastly, just like a little fun game with Party Animals. That game was really funny.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
I forgot about Party Animals. That one looks hilarious. I was like, oh my gosh, this is.
I know. Like,
ridiculous.
Dying.
But I'll have fun with you and Adam playing this if we ever.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing is that because most of them are from Microsoft. Like you could just get Game Pass for either PC or Xbox. And just play,
That's why I tell people, man. Like, if you have if you have a PC or Xbox, like Game Pass is probably like the best thing you can invest in, on either platforms right now.
And then lastly, the big dog, Nintendo. So for Nintendo, mine would be when even though it's not Nintendo IP, but when they showed off the new Monkey Ball game, which looks so cool, like they're remaking like 300 of the past levels from the old games, which people have been desperately when they announced that Monkey Ball Banana Blitz was getting an AC remake last year or the year before that, people were so upset because they wanted something more in the vein of Monkey Ball 2, and that seems to be what they're doing with this. So I'm excited for that. Mario Party Superstars, I'm liking it. Like when I first saw it, I was like, holy crap, they're remaking 64 games. That's so cool. And I think like the most dominant feature of that game in particular is the fact that you can pause mid game and like resume at a later point. I believe that's for the online mode. So like if you guys have to like take a break during their session, you could stop and always return at a later time, which is kind of cool. It makes it more accessible, and then you can also play with random. So if you don't have anybody at all, you could just hop on and always have some fun. Metroid Dread, which was kind of a cool announcement, especially because it's a game that has a lot of rich and deep history, with it being a canceled game. And that's kind of cool. Right. I like the atmosphere of it. Like just like in that trailer, like you see like Samus just walking up in this weird robotic thing just coming towards her. It kind of feels like a horror Metroid game. Like I got those vibes when watching the Treehouse.
Yeah, kind of what Fusion gave it.
Yeah.
And then next up with WarioWare, which was really funny just because of the whole survey that they gave people just last week, I believe. So it was kind of cool. I like that you can actually play with a friend in this game, and you can play as the characters themselves in the micro games. So that's kind of cool. Advance Wars, which I'm kind of hyped about because they're bringing back an old series, and I haven't played Advance Wars myself personally, but I would like to get into tactical games. And just from seeing it at the Treehouse, it looks really fun. I like the aesthetic, like the whole toy box aesthetic to it. It fits perfectly with it. And then Hyrule Warriors DLC, which looks really cool. I like that Link can operate it's like a guardian arm that he can swing around.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like nunchuck kind of deal.
And then Breath of the Wild 2 teaser, which was really cool. A lot of new things. I had predicted this. I had a feeling that it would probably have some connection to Skyward Sword because when they released Twilight Princess HD on Wii U, that had a really deep connection to Breath of the Wild 1. So I knew that there was a reason why Skyward Sword would be releasing right now. And I'm just telling you, I swear, next time we see this game, they're gonna announce you could tap the Loftwing amiibo and you could just take a Loftwing and fly across the world.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd like that.
That would be so awesome. But yeah, that was pretty much all of the things like everything that I was hyped for at this E3. It was definitely different. Like there was a lot of presentations that kind of felt bleak, where it kind of felt like it would have been better to not have a presentation and maybe wait until there was more stuff cooking, if you know what I mean.
I agree.
But overall, at least for like the AAA developer, there were a lot of good stuff to see.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. All right, Ryan, it's your turn. Tell us what you thoughts on E3.
All right, so do you want me to just kind of do my initial, like similar to what everyone's done?
You can do however you want to do it.
Go, all right, buckle up. Now I'm going to start off more. So my initial impression is to say that, you know, you see online, I think it might have been Frank in the comments said about he felt Nintendo saved E3. You see a lot of, whether it's Nintendo or not, like such and such saved E3. I think Kotetsu tonight and maybe a couple of you other guys said, you know, you didn't feel E3 needs to be saved, and I would agree with that. But like, I feel also we're seeing, not just because it was digital only, that there is a definite shift in sort of the importance of this event to the industry, or at least kind of like the importance in terms of when do we announce things and what is the purpose. I think purpose of the show is kind of shifting a little bit, and a lot of the prestige comes, in my opinion, more from the history and the historical value of the name E3. So that's just kind of that's come to me over the course of the day. I feel like I'm going to start with presentation wise, the best presentations, regardless of the content that was in them. You know, Nintendo does directs all the time. So far and away, they have hit the nail on the head in terms of how do we effectively present the type of material that we want to present. You always get gameplay. You see what it is that you're going to be investing time and money into, no matter what the title is, other than things that are like initial teases or look aheads to things, or when, like the Smash DLC can mostly be pre-recorded video or Sakurai talking, because we know what to expect gameplay-wise from Smash at this point. Like, how could you not? And they just keep things rolling. We go from game to game to game. It's never, or at least rarely, seems like too much time spent focused on whatever it is that they're talking about. They're on to the next thing. You can then follow on social media, on YouTube, whatever, and get more information about the specific thing that you like. They're good about balancing a bunch of different things, a bunch of different content that that different people will find interest in. So I always go into it like, I'm hoping there's one or two or three things that I personally want to buy, or maybe some DLC that I want to check out, and then a couple other things. But I expect that it's going to show a lot of varied things, and not everything is going to be necessarily what I want to see. It's more about kind of the pacing and presentation for me in terms of my enjoyment, as much as it is getting those few big things that I'm like, oh yeah. And then the other one, and not to come across kind of butt kissy because Phil is in chat, but I really thought the AMICO presentation was well done. I felt better informed coming out of that as to what to expect and get out of it. I didn't really know single player was going to be like how much focus that was going to get on that system. And yeah, I just appreciate that, again, they kept things moving. It never felt like Tommy was talking about anything for too long. It felt like the presentation was crisp, to the point, gave you the information that you needed to know, and it showed a good amount of gameplay, which again is a big thing for me. If I were, I guess I'll say, like, so I skipped over Bandai Namco because I saw that was only going to be like one thing they were showing. I skipped Capcom for not really I appreciate what they did with Resident Evil 8 or Village. It's
Same
not
here.
a series that I'm really into. Not really anything they were showing was anything I was super interested in. I mainly stuck to the big name things. And with that said, a lot of their other presentations, I find there's a lot of talking head segments and a lot of my one kind of gripe with Microsoft. I caught all of that in post. Thanks Katetsu for sharing some of the games that they showed. It's a lot of like pre-rendered stuff from Microsoft. I know that's their thing, so that's one of that, and that I'm a one console gamer is why I tend to skip their stuff and just catch the highlights. I'd rather see like how the game is going to play than see a pre-scripted cutscene that looks cool. Halo, at least I know kind of what to expect of that, but gameplay wise, all of the games that I saw that they show promise. It just for me remains to be seen what they actually play like. Ubisoft was a lot of kind of, it didn't really stray from what I kind of expected they would be talking about, which was fine. I was both hyped and disappointed in terms of Rabbids. It's disappointing that series always, that's the series, it always gets leaked ahead of time. But the first one really pleasantly surprised me. The gameplay is good. As Chichuki said, you have to be into strategic, basically like XCOM type games. So it is heavy on the shooting. But it is a very strategic game. You do have to know what you're doing. It's not not that I think any Mario is specifically like just for kids, but there's always, like in the platformers, there's that content you can play just for kids. Like that's geared towards being able to finish it. It ramps up in the difficulty. Like you have to know what you're doing and what you're getting into in battle situations, or you're going to have to redo what you're doing. So it was a well-made game, and I think it did deserve a sequel. And it looks like they're going bigger and better and addressing some of the minor quality of life issues that the first one had. So I'm definitely excited for that. Square Enix, honestly, was my big disappointment of show based on what I watched. It's cool that they've got some good licensed content. Although, as far as I understand, Avengers, the single player, is good. I haven't played it. This is secondhand information, so feel free to correct me. As far as I understand, the online is kind of where it's lacking, and certainly I shouldn't say it's lost the money, but it hasn't done well for Square Enix by any stretch of the imagination. My personal gripe with it is I feel like from only having seen things, I feel like the character designs range from bland to, I mean, Captain America looks in his base look like a Riot cop cosplaying as Captain America. I'm not, as a Marvel fan, happy with the design aesthetic. That's a minor thing. So like I have nothing really to say on the gameplay of it. And I felt like their segment on the Black Panther stuff, as much as there was major elements of his design I didn't care for. I feel like it got the right amount of screen time. Guardians looks good. Looks like they've progressed a little bit in terms of their character design, and looks like it would be a really good game. I was surprised and then kind of brought down from that it was announced in the direct. It looks like that's going to be cloud streaming, so it's like, okay, that more makes sense how they managed to pull that off on Switch. But it looks good. Like the gameplay looks good. I overall have a good impression. The time they put into that, though, in the presentation, when I talk about talking heads, like that had so many people talking about it. Some of which were just like the liaison at Marvel who runs the game department, and it's like, whether you needed that or not, you could have cut down the time on that. I know they're excited about it, and it's their big thing that they had to talk about, but like there was just too much time, in my opinion, spent that wasn't spent well I thought. But why it was so disappointing, first of all, this may or may not get a laugh from people, but chaos. I don't think that word has meaning anymore after the was it Team Ninja or Platinum?
Yeah, Team Ninja.
Doing
Ninja
the action, essentially story remake of or story retelling of Final Fantasy 1, or it's related in some way story wise because it's using like Garland and Chaos from FF1 and the Warriors of Light. Gameplay wise, that looked like it could be fun. Story wise, I mean, Team Ninja also did Metroid Other M, which was great fun to play, but story wise was a bit of a mess. It had certainly some major issues. So I expect more gameplay wise from that than story wise. Also, again, it's a nitpick, but the protagonist looks like kind of Corleonis from FF15 mixed with Eminem in looking like he walked out with some off the rack like Walmart or Kmart type clothing. Like you literally could pick either of the two guys with him as the protagonist, and I think they would fit the aesthetic way better of an FF protagonist. But what really blew that presentation for me was, they announce pixel remasters for Final Fantasies 1 through 6. That's something that fans online have asked for time after time. I've been one of them. It's like, oh, we want these, and I want it on my Switch so I can. I mean, that's my main gaming system, and so I can take them on the go everywhere. These games are available on mobile. These games are available on Steam. I get the complaints with those versions. The characters are not good looking. They look like kind of fuzzy, like you tried to round the shape of a pixel character. So Square announcing those things was like, yeah, that's awesome. And Final Fantasy fans absolutely would see that and get hyped. And then you come to the end of that announcement and Steam and mobile and nothing else. There is absolute, like, I know we're in a pandemic. I know resources and whatnot and development time and all that. Things are working much differently, in some cases slower, or things are harder to do, whatever. All due respect to all developers for how hard that is and how they're navigating things, and that we got as many announcements as we did. But like, seriously, how much work does that take to put on console, especially when Steam has button mapping for controllers? Like, and there are things that can run clearly on like there is no effort required on any current gen system to run any of those games. So it was hugely disappointing. The response online, there's a lot of similar sentiment to that. It was a huge misstep. I felt like they didn't serve FF well. They should have not done a separate Dragon Quest event, in my opinion. If this was going out globally, which Nintendo Japan makes it seem like it might have been, or they could have at least, like Square could have managed that. Dragon Quest, I think, should have been folded in. There would have been more to get excited about for the core Square and Enix fan base. That's what I felt was lacking. What I felt I was disappointed in, and yeah, just I don't know. My overall opinion is Square could have done much better, and hopefully they rethink the decision on the remasters. Nintendo, I thought, in terms of what they had to offer, I mean, Breath of the Wild 2 alone was enough for me. Could it have been longer that they showed it? Sure. That said, I think they showed enough in terms of game content to tease us again, for like to further the hype and the tease for what we're gonna get. I was super into and started kind of thinking over like, well, what could this mean? What could that mean? Theories and ideas and just practically how could the game play, and I think it answers very clearly why did it take so long for us to see anything about this when, other than the pandemic, when they're using the same world and engine. Well, they've clearly done enough in terms of work on it that yeah, there's going to be some significant work involved in putting that out. And so I felt like 2022 is reasonable. Metroid, I like CHRONOZ, I appreciate that they actually like mentioned what's going on with Prime 4, not in any great detail, but like, you know, we're still hard at work on that. It was nice to get some kind of update and some kind of acknowledgement that, yeah, fans are excited and waiting for this. Was not expecting Dread at all. And similarly to, I was certainly not expecting it for this year. Similar to Breath of the Wild 2, it brings up a lot of like, what could this make? Because it's post-fusion. There are no living Metroids at that point in the timeline. As far as any Metroid fan thought, Fusion was the end of the timeline because all you have left is Samus's suit has Metroid DNA. That's it. It's interesting to think what the possibilities could be, and when they say it's kind of the end of that era or that storyline or whatever, then what are they going to potentially take the franchise and do more games going forward? I also appreciate from the Treehouse that it's very much a sequel to Samus Returns as well in terms of gameplay. So the different things you could do, like the counters and the Aeon abilities, are being brought in a newer form. And in a way where it doesn't break the character movement as much, like you're able to keep traversing and keep fighting as you go. It looked really impressive, and I'm very excited to play that. Smash, I don't really have too much to say about it. It was expected, at least for me, it was expected that they would announce a character. At this point, in terms of my enjoyment of Smash and what Smash has had to offer, I've eaten well in terms of what Smash has to offer. I was thrilled to get Sephiroth and have proper FF content in the game. I was thrilled to get Pyre and Mithra. Banjo and Kazooie is, in my opinion, possibly the best Smash reveal ever. So in terms of what they were going to show us, anything was good for me. I feel like I've been fully satisfied in what I've paid for. So, and the reveal was cool. As I think Chichuki said, you see it and you're like, oh, is this the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer? But no, that's too early. I'm right at the start of it with Ganondorf being dropped off. I thought it was funny. Someone online said that, how do I say? They said ahead of the Direct that the only thing that could ruin Nintendo winning, no one really wins E3, but winning E3 would be to execute Captain Falcon in the Direct, and basically that was, I think, like the second character that he throws off the cliff into the lava. Yeah. And the Kirby bit at the end. CHRONOZ, I saw your reaction. I basically reacted the same. It was highly amusing that he tries to kill off Kirby and he just kind of floats away.
Never allow that.
Sorry?
Oh no, saying Sakura would never let Kirby die.
Yeah, because that's his baby.
Oh, I knew it wasn't going to.
Yeah,
that's his baby.
Yeah, that was one of the first things he worked on, I think. First games or franchises. Yeah. Yeah, I thought the wealth or the variety of content presented in the Direct was fine enough for, like, it met my expectation. I'm a little disappointed. I wasn't sold on the Game & Watch. I might pick that up, but I was a little disappointed that Aonuma basically said, like, well, we're not presently working on anything on Switch for the 35th. I feel like that's a missed opportunity, and that's a franchise that should have got the same amount of love as what Mario did.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. when I
Yeah,
rewatched
I don't know
the
if they'll
thing.
maybe like later in the year say like, oh, okay, well we've now decided to do something. I think it was like, was it August, maybe
For
July,
5 years.
when
45.
the Mario 35
Yeah,
direct happened.
it was in August, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
August. Yeah,
I mean
August,
that's not
July,
that's
or
not
August.
far enough that they could like actually necessarily have anything out, depending how long the work takes.
Mhm.
There's at least like time where they could think like maybe if they have the resources or farm it out to like next level games or Grezzo, to do something more for the anniversary. I think that's a bit of a miss. The Mario Party thing, I've never been into Mario Party. I know my daughter will be thrilled because she only has a Switch Lite that you can play that off the like off of built-in controls rather than having to take the Joy-Con off. Oh, and the Age of Calamity, I kind of got my fill of that game. What they showed hasn't changed my mind in terms of buying the DLC, but you know, it looked good for what it was. I think for anyone that's still excited about that game or really enjoyed that game a lot more than what I did, there's decent value to be had in that, I think. So, and WarioWare, I agree with Cliff. That was like the worst kept secret. If anything leaked out of the Nintendo Direct, other than Nintendo showing Rabbids again and having leaked that themselves, it would be WarioWare. Because like, why are you asking? Would I pay full price for a WarioWare game in one of your
And what's what's
surveys?
funny about it is it like they asked the people would be willing to pay 40, but the official price is 50.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole planning of that is like, why don't you just tell us you're like, below the announcement, just tell us you're making a WarioWare game. Are we interested in buying it at that point? Because it basically did that. Yeah, that's basically all that I've got to say on. I enjoyed E3 overall, and I feel like it's becoming now it has a different place in gaming, and that's not a bad thing. It's still valuable, and it was still a good time to watch through it and to chat with everyone.
Cool, thank you for that. So, you know, we've all talked about just you know, what we thought about E3 as ourselves, and what we felt that it could have had, and what it did have. It had something to kind of get excited about. You know, like everyone said, there were some shows that were great, and there's some shows that were lacking. I think for me, just the stuff that was lacking, I think the two shows that were just lacking, period, were Capcom and Bandai. Now, Bandai, I didn't know they were showing one game, because when they started it off, they just said, hey, we're going to be here on this time slot. And then once everyone saw that one game, it was like, wait, that's it? Like, that's all you guys are going to do? And then later on, they were like, oh, no, we had one game here. And it's like, well, you could have just did an 8-minute trailer. Like some developers done. They didn't show up on E3 and just have a spot and do that. They put up a trailer later. They said, hey, Sony, could you put this up for us? And they did. And, you know, it would have had whatever reaction it would have had. And then Capcom, you know, yeah, I would have liked to see a roadmap, because I didn't know what to expect from Capcom. Capcom is an underrated developer, but they make really great games. So that's why I was like, okay, their main focus has been Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. So I don't know what else to expect from this company. And, you know, we didn't get what we didn't get. And for me, I was okay. I had some gripes about some companies just from the aspect of content they could have given us versus what we did get. You know, I wasn't upset at the fact that I wasn't upset at the fact that Capcom was there and they showed off their games that's coming soon and we're already out. I was most disappointed at okay, I want to know where your roadmap is because you guys are here. I don't know what to expect from you guys. I want to see at least like a roadmap, and then we didn't. And I was like, okay. Same with Bandai. Like we have like Bandai is like the central of anime games, right? So I put a little bit too much on Bandai. I was like, okay, we're gonna see this, and we like I told Cliff and I was like, Xbox last in 2019, they announced the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and I'm like, oh, we might get a Dragon Ball Z game at this one, and we didn't. I was like, okay, well, there's still Tuesday, and we didn't get it, and I was like, dang, that's kind of disappointing. But as far as that, that's pretty much it. Now, when I bring this up, I'm not just focusing on, I'm not talking about one person. I'm talking about the span of every single person who's watched E3 and who's commented on it. My problem was, and I've expressed this all this weekend, that everyone is just was kind of just thrashing it and was like, oh, Nintendo's gonna do this, Nintendo's gonna do that, and it's like, okay, you know, I get it. When I see that, and this is always at every direct or every gaming presentation that's ever been out, people say, oh, it didn't have this, it didn't have that. And it's like, okay, like what's your real beef about the presentation? Not because of the games that came up, but was it because you didn't see what you wanted to see? And if you didn't, it's like they're not ready to show it yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like you said, E3 has not been the place where you reveal your big games anymore. I think that's been proven when Sony didn't show up at 2019's. When Sony didn't show up, we were like, oh crap, so Sony's not gonna be here this year? So what are we gonna do? So it's like, okay, well, now it's Xbox and Nintendo because they're like the other big tycoons. And then when last year, before the pandemic took everything out, Sony wasn't going to show up to that one. So then it was like, okay, what's happening? So you know, that was kind of a precursor. And me and Cliff, we talked about this last year in our podcast where we said, is E3 changing? Is E3 going to change into something that's going to be more digital? Because a lot of these other companies have the ability, like Nintendo's been showing, that they could do their own event to show off their own games. They don't need to wait a year to have this huge presentation because Nintendo's been doing it for, when did they start doing it? I want to say they started doing it around the Wii U era when they started doing stuff like that.
I believe their first, I think they switched in 2014. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because their fonts and everything were like blue.
I think 2013 was their last in-person event. I'm pretty sure.
Because I know that they started doing directs and stuff on their own. I know it was like during the Wii U era.
And yeah, like everyone was saying, yeah, that's a stupid idea. Like what? Like it's not gonna work. And then it ends up being like the thing that everyone's doing.
Yeah, everyone stays tuned for, and everyone makes up and fakes, and everyone's like, yeah, this is happening. Let's all stream it, all be and do this. So yeah, like the industry is changing from when it comes to, you know, showing stuff. Like a lot of people were like, oh, Square Enix was just bad. Square Enix was bad. And I look at that, I'm like, why was it horrible? Was it because of this game? No. Was it because of this game? No. What was it? Because you didn't see Final Fantasy 16. And a lot of people were like, oh, we didn't see this, we didn't see that. That means that the thing is horrible. Where it's like, well, you got to understand that they're not ready to show that yet. Like if they're not in a place where, and the prime example of this, and me and Cliff talked about this, and Adam, we talk about this all the time when it comes to reveals and stuff. Final Fantasy VII is the prime example of showing stuff that they're not ready to show yet. They showed Final Fantasy, and I don't mean when they first showed it out. Yeah. I don't mean like when they first showed it off. Yeah, like I don't mean like when they first showed off. I mean, well, with 15 got canceled because they weren't going to do it. Like when they announced 13, it was supposed to be 14, but then it was supposed to be 14 verses. Or was it? It was like 13 verses or something,
versus
and
13,
it got scrapped. Yeah, and it got scrapped altogether because it was just you have 2 Final Fantasy games coming out saying it wasn't, so they scrapped it, and then later on they brought it back and they're like, oh, it's called 15. But what I mean is the remake, Final Fantasy 7 remake. I don't mean the first time they showed it up on the PS3 in like 2007, 2008. I mean when they showed it off. Yeah, I mean when they showed it off. I want to say the first time they showed off at E3, I think it was like 2016 or 2017.
Might have been 16 or something.
Yeah. And then they showed it off again, which was like a full-on like gameplay stuff that we saw. And the producer and the creator, he said that was the worst thing we could have ever done because we weren't even ready. We weren't even done. That was just a tech thing. Like we weren't even ready to do that. So and then we waited like 4 or 5 years to actually get something and get it released in. So where they're to the point when they're like, all right, we are ready to show this game off. So when I hear people, and I'm speaking to everybody, people who are watching, everyone who's on Twitter talking and stuff, people come at me and say I was like, I can care less. But when it comes to development, there's a stage where they're like, okay, are we ready to show anything? No. Okay, we gotta keep going. Are we ready to show anything? Okay, okay, no, we gotta keep going. So it's like it's up to them when they want to show stuff. Like when they're ready. Like if E3 would have been the place to show it, like any Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, then that's great. The thing with Dragon Quest, just to kind of talk what you talk about Dragon Quest, the thing with that was the Dragon Quest stuff. When it comes to Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy is more popular out here than it is in Japan, but Dragon Quest is way popular out there than here. So when they had that Dragon Quest event, first of all, it was their anniversary when they had that event. It was their anniversary. So that makes sense when they showed all that stuff off. And plus, nothing was localized. Like, localization takes longer than we all think it is.
They're all for Japan.
Yeah, like we got 3 games that were coming out here. Like everything they showed was like Japan, and me, Cliff, and Adam were like, are they going to do global release? They said no plans. We're like, damn. Oh, Final Fantasy X Online, we're getting a global release? No. Not even a standalone game, we're not getting a global release, which is crazy. But we got 3 games, and those 3 games weren't even localized. Like most of them were pretty much like, we're going to get it in Japan first, or we're showing it off here first. Now, it's just like I said, it was their anniversary, so it made sense. And
yeah, that's true.
And so, like it wouldn't. I mean, I guess it would make kind of sense if they would have just gave us the trailers that we did, but they got to localize it and do all this stuff. So it probably didn't make sense to do that if the world already knows we're getting it and there's nothing to show, especially for 12. We got a title reveal for 12. Like that's it.
Yeah, 12 wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, so we're not gonna
maybe, but
maybe
what they already did. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like I said, it's localization stuff. So when it comes to stuff like that, it's just like, we got to be patient. You know what I'm saying? And for regarding of 16, there's a rumor going out there. I don't know if it's real or not, but there's a rumor saying that Sony is going to do their presentation a couple weeks from after E3 is over. So there's a chance that we might see more of 16. Like I was expecting to see 16 this year. Yeah. But I didn't, and I was like, all right, cool. We didn't see. And I think that's just me. Like if I see, like, I had a few games I was looking forward to that I didn't see, and I was like, all right, cool. I didn't see them, but there were like a handful of games that I was just like, all right, cool. That's awesome. That looks cool. And I think it's just me because I have all 3 platforms and a PC. So my wide net of game, my network of games is a lot wider than most people's because I have everything here. So even if I don't play something as much, there's a game out there that's gonna make me go back to one of my consoles and be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna you're about to get a lot of love on the September 4th, whenever Back 4 Blood comes out. Like you're getting a lot of love more than this today, or you're gonna love this. So that's just me. And my only gripe about just Twitter and everyone who watched the E3 and thought it was garbage and thought Nintendo was going to save it. I think people were like had so much expectation of that they were going to see the games they wanted to see, but then when they didn't see them, it was like, oh, it's garbage. And I'm like, why is it garbage? That's why I always ask people. I was like, why was it like? I don't understand. Like, why was it garbage? Like, I don't know Now, when you were talking about presentation, I get it. Presentation is everything. I 100% understand when it comes to certain games when they show like gameplay and stuff. I think for Guardians, like for me, I was happy that we got gameplay footage, because then I actually got to see what they were talking about. Like when they said it's more than just the, of course you can only play as Star-Lord. I was like, I don't care, because I honestly think I would have stuck with Star-Lord anyway through the entire game. But they showed more than just gameplay. They showed, hey, you have moments in the game where you have to make a choice, and that choice is going to affect your next portion of the game, either with the character or whatever happens. Like you saw where Peter agreed with Groot, and that happened, and then Drax was going to throw Groot, and you had a choice of saying throwing Groot or someone else, and you said go ahead and throw Groot or throw Rocket, and Rocket got pissed. It's like that stuff is like, I told him, I was like, yo man, like that must be hard to make the decision, because I'm watching and I'm having a hard time making decisions, trying to make that decision like that. But I think when it comes to showing off gameplay, it's either just to kind of give more of a context of what we're getting, and kind of what little extra stuff they want to show us that we can be excited about. Like when they show cinematics, that's just like, okay, we have a game here. Ain't ready. Yeah. We have a game here ready for you guys. And then there's some stuff that show gameplay and it's really cool and it's awesome. Like I would have loved to see more of Breath of the Wild, but I know we will probably see that, whenever they have their thing or whatever whatever they want to do it. But just overall, I think just like, like I said, I'm speaking to everybody, where I'm like, to me, E3 is a place where I don't expect nothing, because I think that makes it that much better. Yeah, I have my games I want to see, but my expectations are always here. So then when I see something, it's like the high point, like always. And if I don't see what I want to see, then it's like, okay, great. They're still working on it. Take as much time as you want. Final Fantasy, take as much time as you want, because I know Square Enix is going to. They take 3 years to make their game, so take as much time as you want. Breath of the Wild, take as much time as you want.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime, I'm not big on the Prime series. I like the 2D Metroid better, but you know what? Take your time on it.
Make it good rather than rush it out, for sure.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to see a game that's rough. No. Like that's super rough. So
not for that series.
Yeah. So I mean, it's always to kind of keep expectations low, and if you don't see anything, just know that it's going to come and they're working on it.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and especially like what you said about Square's business and marketing side is totally often out of sync with their game production side. Always. I think I expected seeing 16. I wasn't disappointed that all we got was a little bit of the same gameplay. Mm-hmm. I feel more concerned about that in the sense of like it looks like they're doing the same thing that they've done with Final Fantasy the last 2 times. So less that it needed to be shown at E3 and more like they need to show something more for the in the relatively near future. I wouldn't critique them on that specifically. And I get what you're saying about Dragon Quest, and really they only could have shown us stuff we've already seen. And it's a fair point about that it was the anniversary. I had forgotten about that. I don't know really what they could have done. Like when I say I wanted their core franchises better represented. I don't know what they could have done differently, other than when you talk about like they'll show us stuff when they're ready. The Pixel remasters, that announcement should have waited. If they don't have console lined up for that,
I agree.
Your fan base and like the bulk of your fan base and the bulk of your interest in that is Nintendo for the history. Those 6 games originally all came out on Nintendo systems, and PlayStation because that's been the home of Final Fantasy from 7 forward. If you don't have it ready to go for those, that's not worth announcing, in my opinion. That said,
Mm,
hold it
I get
and
that.
let the fans go crazy when it's being able to be done properly.
Yeah, I get that. Like if they
yeah.
just would have said Pixel Remaster and just said coming 2021
Soon.
with no
Yeah.
platform on it, I get that. I understand because I even
Yeah.
said to our friend Adam, I was teasing him, I was like, you get to play this on, and I was like, oh, Steam and mobile, and he was like, you know what? Thank God it's coming out on Steam because he just wanted to play regardless. He just wanted to play the game regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's really just all it's just all we can do is wait. The worst thing we can do is be like all these other people who send threats and stuff saying we want this game now and da 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 because it's like they can just say canceled because it's this, we can't do it, and that might even be they might just be like, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore.
You know what?
Because it's giving them too much heat.
Nintendo didn't give us Mario Kart 9. So fuck that. Kidding.
That threats start them now.
Yeah, right. That's
Mario
just,
Kart 9 is the new Waluigi in Smash. It's the new thing to hate over.
Yeah, but that's just my thing. Like I enjoyed E3, no matter if I didn't see anything I wanted to see or anything like that, because ultimately I know that okay, either they're not ready to see it or they're saving it for something else. Because just like you said, E3 isn't the Super Bowl. E3 doesn't have that feeling of okay, this is where you see all the big stuff like it was. I'll say 4 or 5 years ago. It's not like that anymore. So a lot of these developers like Nintendo and Sony are like, we can just do our own, and we don't have to wait an entire year to show you guys to know that we're ready to show people this. Like, I get the fact that okay, we want to at least see something, but would you rather just see something, or would you rather see that okay, this game looks like it's almost freaking done?
Yeah. And like the good thing for at least like Nintendo fans is that we at least like we get like 3 directs every year, so
Yeah.
like we're gonna
So
we're
there's
gonna get
always
another direct in the fall with more, and like they even said themselves that they have games in development that they haven't announced in this direct. So
yeah,
I also think it depends on the franchise that fans want to see nothing or they want to see something. I mean, up until today, Metroid had nothing, and they had a title for Metroid Prime 4. They had a title card. Now we have the next Metroid game, and it depends. I mean, if they showed something that said, "Oh, we're working on our new Kid Icarus," I think the fan base that's a Kid Icarus fan would be like, "Oh, they haven't forgot about this franchise," or F-Zero. I also think games go to E3 to get hype factor built around them. I don't think developers give a shit if they're ready or not. If they have, like with the pixelated Final Fantasy stuff, I think it didn't matter if they were ready or not. They were going to talk about, hey, you've been asking for this? Shut up. Here you go. And it didn't depend on what it was coming out for.
Yeah, that's true. Like just like the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, everyone's like, we want a full Diamond and Pearl remake, just like Let's Go. We want this, and they're like, all right, cool. Here you go. Wait, this doesn't look like Let's Go. You didn't ask for that. You wanted this.
I'm perfectly fine with them remaking Diamond and Pearl. I will play the new Diamond and Pearl game until Arceus comes out. But games, E3 still is the name, the big North American company. Just the last 2 years, it's been pandemic-wise. Companies still go to E3 to bring their heavy hitters to get people talking about them. They didn't show that much of a Breath of the Wild 2 trailer because they don't want to. It's not that they probably can't. It's that they don't want to. They can show off like 20 seconds or 30 seconds of it, and now we're talking about it for months. Like, oh, what's the deal with Link or Zelda's robotic arm? I mean, he turned into liquid. What's that about? Or he threw spiny missiles at whatever. We're not talking about that if they show you a longer trailer. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And we're at the mercy of them to say, oh, yeah, hey, we got a new... They mentioned WarioWare. Okay.
Yeah, it all has to do with, like, marketing. Like they have it all, like, at least in terms of Nintendo specifically, like, they have it all planned out on, how they want their year lineup to be. And,
good.
Like, even, like, on the tweet that you saw earlier, like, where Bill Trinan said that, they have a title for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, they're just not ready to show it.
That is kind of ridiculous that they haven't announced the title yet if they're ready to talk about it.
Well, then they say like they said that they're not ready to show it because they'll give away a plot point in the story or something like that.
The tweet says that it'll reveal where they're going next, and it's like wonderful. It's like, okay, if that's the title, but good marketing departments do things that make you talk about them, and and Nintendo in the past has had awful marketing. It's just recently that they've had decent marketing. I mean, the whole Wii U shit. I mean, that was almost the thing that single-handedly killed the company several times. But it's like, I mean, if you look at the developers and the companies that had terrible presentations, I don't agree with people sending death threats and everything. But if you don't see a game that you wanted to see, it's like, of course you're gonna think it's bad. But at the same time, if I had known that Capcom had announced what they were going to show before their presentation, I might not have gone so hard on them. I thought they were terrible. And I'm a big Capcom fan. I know some people who work in Capcom. I know how things work. But then somebody told me, oh, they announced like a couple of days before that they were going to just show Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and Ace Attorney. So it's like, oh, okay. I went in thinking they were going to have Mega Man. I thought there was going to be a Mega Man. I was hoping for Mega Man. There was no Mega Man. So it's like, all right. I mean, but
that's how I felt.
If I'll spin on another side here. If the presentation is bad and the substance is bad, you're going to have a bad presentation. And this is what, I mean, sane people on the internet, which there are None, go after people.
Of course we are.
We're the smart ones. They're the idiots that do it wrong. but the people who send death threats and say, "Oh, they didn't show Final Fantasy 16 or whatever number we're up to," it's like, well, now I'm gonna raid their house and I'm gonna put their address on the internet.
Dox them,
yeah. But the Capcom presentation not only didn't have anything that we didn't know about, it also ended with esports. And it's like, I mean, look, I don't have a problem with them going into esports at the end. I have a problem with them acting like no one knows what esports is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we're in 2021, and you're telling me what a Street Fighter professional tournament is.
Yeah. I wasn't digging that either.
It's like, okay, I mean, don't end with that. I mean, good. You're hyping up esports. Esports is the wave of the future. That's fine. But there's a time and a place for it. They probably should have started with that.
Yeah, and just ended with Ace Attorney, and it'd be like, oh, okay.
I mean, I
and also not patronize your fan base.
Well, companies patronize their fan bases all the time.
No, but I mean, like, if you're saying, like, you don't know what esports, or they're talking like you don't know what esports are, that's kind of patronizing.
Well, I feel like they weren't trying to be condescending and patronizing. It just kind of came out that way because people were already pissed off about Capcom showing what they showed anyway. And then, like, the guys that they had, look, they know what they're doing. They're esports personnel. They know what they're doing. But the clips they showed, the people didn't even look enthused to be there. And like the tournaments, they had like 10 people in the audience. I mean, if you're trying to hype up this professional Street Fighter thing and professional esports tournament, there's got to be better clips than that.
Yeah.
I mean, at E3 they used to have the tournaments next to the Staples Center out in the parking lot.
Like before some of the events they would have,
like
something like.
Next to Microsoft Theater, they used to have.
Yeah, it was like this. It was like theater. Yeah, it was like a theater somewhere. I don't know exactly what it was.
Well, it used to be right outside. They had they play on the big stage and they did like Street Fighter and Tekken and stuff. They used to do all that outside. So you could have, if they clipped any of that, they could have shown stuff like that. But I don't know. It's like I feel like most of the people that they have in charge of these things don't know what they're doing, and they are so distant from the fan bases that they don't care about. That is a problem. I mean, you look at things that I mean, I don't know. I'm rambling here, but it's like the Final Fantasy games should be on console. They're not, and they don't care. It's like they're out. Here you go. It's like,
and that's the thing though. Like people will complain about it, but at the end of the day, they're just like, all right, I'll just buy it, and they're most likely they're gonna buy it. Like I use the example all the time. I wasn't big on the whole Pokemon and the Dynamax thing for Sword and Shield. I'm like, that's not really something that it didn't do it for me. But I'm probably going to buy this anyway because it's Pokemon, and it's Pokemon, so I'm probably gonna buy it. So when I'm happy for everyone. Like I said, I'm happy for my friend Adam. He gets to play 6 again. Just a modern looking version of 6. And just like Chichuki said, either they don't care or they're just like, we're just gonna put it here. People are gonna buy it anyway. So where does it matter if it goes here? Yeah. Because people are,
or they spread out the release, so like they do them all PC and mobile, and then like, oh, by the way, now it's available on PS4, so you're buying it like 3 or 4 times.
They might do that.
They have done that before with that franchise in particular, with those classic ones. Yeah, so.
Well, I think it's a little both. I think it's the fan bases are shown a ray of hope that they didn't forget about these franchises, and at the same time, it kind of fools the fan base into thinking that they've been listened to by the company. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, they were not going to remake 1 through 6. You bitch and moan until you get your way, and they remake 1 through 6. It's just that it's not on console. It's like, well, you didn't, like Katetsu said, you didn't ask for it on console. You asked for it to be remade entirely, and we made it again. It's like because it's like the way we're going, nostalgia outweighs good content, and we've been going in that direction for a long time. I mean, that's Nintendo's business model, and I don't have a problem with that because I'm a Nintendo fanboy. That's just what it is. But now the other companies are starting to jump on that. It's like you're getting Crash remade, you're getting Spyro remade, you're getting Final Fantasy games remade. It's like all the games that we used to play are getting remade because A, you can't come up with new ideas. B, you don't get a choice, you don't get an option to come up with new ideas because if it doesn't sell, you are fucked. And it doesn't matter what you do. It's the same way in the movie industry. That's why we don't get new ideas. That's why we get
recycled everything.
That's why we get live action Disney movies made every 5 freaking minutes.
Fast and the Furious 10.
But it's like, I don't know. People online always say E3 is dying. I agree and I disagree in the fact that E3 is dying. E3 is not what it used to be about 3 or 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago even. But do I think it's something that doesn't need to happen? No, I think it's something that does need to occur year in and year out because it's more so not for the big heavy hitters. It's more so for the indie developers and the little companies that scrape enough to get by to get this booth on the East Hall in the back. So,
I was gonna mention that. Like I feel like E3 is going in that direction where it's not like as far as like the AAA developers. I mean, like they can easily put a video or a direct S type of thing on their channel, and they could easily get the traction. But it's more for like the indie developers who want to get their name out there. Because I mean, places like Steam and Humble Bundle and other places to get your name out there. But I think E3 is still a place where if you're any developer, like at least in person, like there's been plenty of times, like for example, what Katesi will know what I'm talking about. It's on Switch. It's like Splatoon. My God.
Ninjala.
Yeah, Ninjala. Like when I first played Ninjala, like back at E3 2018, I'm pretty sure. I think it was 2018. That was a really good fun game.
Yeah, like, they had an anime expo that year too.
Yeah, they did. And if it wasn't for me playing that demo, I probably wouldn't have even like gave it a second chance.
Same here.
See, let me see. Oh, yeah, I had one more thought, Cliff.
So, who does out of everything? Give me a choice. Whose shit was weak?
Your shit's weak.
Did you do that did you ask us the question just to do that clip? Because I
No,
felt
you
like
shit
that
was
was
weak.
the whole
Yeah,
reason.
it seems like it.
I feel like
shit
that
was
was the
weak?
reason why you asked us that, because you wanted to do
So
that clip.
tell me, do you think
It was
anyone's out of all
was
the
Bandai.
presentations
It was Bandai.
was the week? Bandai?
I think
what about you,
Bandai.
CHICHUKI?
Capcom was pretty
Capcom
like
was weak.
not
Ryan.
great.
Yeah, as much as I was personally disappointed with Square Enix, and again, I mean, most of those games are already available on Steam and are all available on mobile. Just basically not in the graphic style people want. Probably, I mean, what Kotetsu and Chichuki said, it's one of those, either bringing nothing that we didn't already know about, or bringing one game only is kind of like, well, why did you even bother coming for this?
So
Doesn't make sense.
Well,
So you choose,
I can't knock Square just because they brought some things that we might have seen prior to that. The other two basically were like, okay, Bandai, you got a time slot. You might not have brought stuff
Capcom
that
too?
you planned on.
Yeah, it's Capcom or Bandai Namco for sure.
Yeah, Capcom, Bandai Namco, or Square.
I just can't call it because I didn't see either of those, because I saw what it was going to be, and I was like, yeah, I'm not interested.
I think he's on mute right now. Oh, there it is.
So who was weak for you?
Worst presentation, Cliff. What do you got?
That's really interesting. It's really hard. Really hard. Let me check like all of the. Let me go on like see how like really think hard about this.
The reason I picked Bandai, because it wasn't their game. They could have showed any game on there, right, and been 8 minutes, and it's fine. The problem for me was like, you had an 8 to 15 minute presentation that could have easily been a trailer that they could have just posted on their channel, and and that was it. They didn't. I get the fact that E3 was the best time to show off the game, but like I said, it could have been anything, and like they could have showed off Kakarot again on Switch and be like, all right, here's some new stuff. Like they announced earlier today, which kind of pissed me off, and I hope this is not just for Switch. That they said, for those who play Kakarot, Vegito and Gotenks will be playable now on the Switch version. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, please don't let this just be for the Switch, because I'm not buying another. I'm not like I said for about Dragon Quest. I said I'm not buying this for the PS. I'm not buying this for the Switch again, just so I can play the new content. Like I'm not doing that I'm not buying Kakarot again for the Switch just so I can go back and play as. Especially if they're just saying that, hey, all you gotta do is complete these missions and you can play as them. I mean, you can easily just give us a title update for the other consoles that they were released on, and give us that. But that's another thing. Like it's like I said, like they could have just said, hey, here's just put our trailer. We're just gonna put a trailer up about House of Ashes, and then put like the hashtag E3 on there, and it could have went down that route instead of that. And because no one knew what they were doing until after the presentation. Like I swear to you, like I looked when I kept going to the E3 slot, it kept saying Bandai Namco 225, nothing else. So I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna see some stuff, but we didn't. We saw one game, and then the stream ended, and we were all sitting there like, what happened? What's going on? And then it wasn't until later where they were like, oh wait, they have one game they're talking about, and it's like, well, you could have just did a trailer. I think that's why I was kind of upset, because I felt like the time that you guys took. I'm not saying you took that time away from. I'm saying that you guys could have just easily just said, here's a trailer, hashtag E3, and then, I mean, it's gonna do it anyway once they post it later. You know what I mean? So why not just stuck with that?
If they did a trailer, IGN's not talking about them live. If they did just a trailer, now they're
and that's why, yeah.
They're on.
That's why
They're on the main floor. They're on the main channel. IGN's
Yeah.
not talking about them. GameSpot's not talking about them. All the other ones aren't showing their presentation live if it's just a trailer.
I know.
Honestly, I felt Capcom could have just done everything they showed in tweets, which nothing against Capcom, but they didn't bring that much substance. But but to go off, I mean, Bandai had stuff that they could have shown, and they chose not to. Now, how long was their presentation? Like 8 to 10 minutes?
It was like 8 to 10 minute presentation.
Did you watch all? Did you guys watch all?
Yeah,
of it?
yeah,
Yeah.
from beginning to end. From beginning to end, it was
like,
what they did was they did the trailer and we're like, oh, okay, and then they had
Then,
an
like, it
interview
cut off
afterwards.
for a
It was an
minute.
interview after the trailer. So in my mind, I'm like, please don't tell me this is what they're taking all this time for, because they showed the trailer of it and then they had an interview about what the game was, what was going on behind the scenes, and what to expect. And then after that trailer, the stream cut out, and then it just went back to
and, like, we were
another
so
thing they were
confused,
doing.
it went to like a part of their when they were talking about razors, and we're like, wait, did something happen to the stream?
Like we thought it was a
We
hiccup.
went back to like GameStop, like, okay, well, what's going on? And they were like, oh, well, I guess it's over.
Because literally they did there was a trailer interview and then they went back to and then what Greg Miller was like, before we dive into everything, let's talk about this. So we're like, okay, they're gonna take a break and then come back to Bandai, and then while they were talking, the stream cut out, and we were like, did it just hiccup or is it really done? And I looked it up and I was like, dude, that's all Bandai had.
Yeah,
So-
I would probably say Bandai as well, because that was kind of shocking.
So did
Thank
they
you for listening on Phil Adams. Enjoy your
thanks,
dinner.
Did they talk about what the pre-order options are for this game?
No, they
Or
just
or did they just show like a little play game? Because I didn't see it.
no, all they did was they showed off the game. They showed a trailer of it first, then they had an interview, and then that was it. And then they said it's gonna come out this day, and and then that was it.
Because right now they have a pre-order option for it, and I don't. It doesn't
No,
say how much
they
it is,
didn't-
but the
they didn't talk about
bundle looks good. I mean, if they had shown this, it might have been a little bit of hype gotten to it. And if they had talked about, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know if Nintendo told them they couldn't talk about Kakarot on Switch, but they could have. I mean, Scarlet Nexus is coming out in like a week.
Yeah. I think
they
they could have
could've
gave us another Scarlet Nexus thing or something. Just to give that game one more push of in marketing and advertisement.
It's like, but they did show new material. I mean, we didn't know about the gameplay at all. It was a 10-minute video that nobody knew they were going to show, just that. But they brought new material. I feel like Capcom. I mean, I hate shitting on Capcom all the time because I like Capcom. I really do.
Yeah.
But we already knew about Resident Evil. They're telling you about DLC that may or may not exist. And they say, oh, we're working on it. Yeah, bullshit, you're working on it. The game's been out a month, and you're telling me people are begging for DLC? Yeah.
And you know what's funny? That Nintendo showed more on Monster Hunter Stories than Capcom did. Because they had a trailer and they had a Treehouse Live event. Treehouse Live for stories, and Capcom didn't really do that.
I've never been into the Treehouse Lives. I just can't get into them. The only time I watched the Treehouse Live was when Breath of the Wild 1 was shown and they had Ianuma on for like a half hour, and we were there.
Yeah, what they showed up, they showed that like 4 or 5 times during that year, right? They showed up like 4 or 5 times.
It was the first gameplay video that he was in, and I think you were catching horses or something. Or
yeah, I remember that.
But to go back to Capcom, we knew about Resident Evil. They didn't have anything new for that. We knew about Monster Hunter because that's coming out soon, right? In about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. Mm-hmm.
And
about 2 weeks.
The only thing that we didn't know was the Ace Attorney series, which isn't that like gangbusters of a notice to show. I mean, it's a good game. I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to kill it because I don't know anything about it. I mean, it looks good. The writing and the storytelling looks fine. I mean, whoever named him Herlock Sholm should be shot.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
That is one of the stupidest names
funny.
I've ever heard in my life, and the only way you can get around that is copyright. I mean, that has to be the only reason why.
That's what I thought too.
That's why
I thought too.
But But and then you end with esports, and it's like
The gameplay looks improved though. Like it
The
looks
game-
like they
the game-
added a lot to Ace
because
Attorney.
the game looks
what
fine.
they said that because they said it was a Japanese. It came out in Japan, but it never released out here. So now they're bringing it out here.
I mean,
So that's what it is.
the game looks fine. I mean, it looks like it should be on Switch, and it is. I mean,
Yep.
so because it's just for that. But if you're asking me who had the worst presentation, I mean, far and away, it's got to be Capcom.
I get that.
And they were killing the presenter on the internet all day. Like she was unenthused and she was overly smiling and stuff. It's like, come on, what do you expect her to do?
Yeah, it's her job.
Like that's what a phony presenter who's getting paid to kiss ass does. And I have nothing against that. I mean, if I got paid to talk, I'd be kissing ass too. It's like, but that's just what adults who get paid to do something do.
All right, so we are hitting that mark right now. Does anyone have any last
all night?
things?
There is no cutoff date.
If you want to,
all night, baby.
I'm just making sure I don't get a message in my DM saying, "Hey, it's time to wrap it up."
Time to wrap up.
Gotta make sure I don't hit that.
I was actually gonna do that
Get-
at 2. I was gonna do that at 2 hours.
No, I don't want to see that. I want to make sure I'm doing my job right.
We've practically covered everything anyway. I
Yeah,
mean,
you can pay for it.
I think
the only thing
Yeah,
we didn't cover Legend of Mana from Square Enix. That's really the only reason why I can't kill Square Enix because that looks pretty good.
I can't
The
wait for
trailer
that.
they
that's
showed.
fair. That looks good.
I can't wait for that.
Elden Ring coming out looks fantastic. If I have a system to play it on, maybe I'll give it a shot. Excuse me. And there was one other thing, but I don't remember, so that's not important. What was the Xbox game that looks like an old school 8-bit dungeon crawler Kotetsu? That looks like vampires or something.
Hades?
No, not Hades.
Let me just
I'll
take
look
a
it up.
quick gander
I mean, I
at
don't
what
remember. I
we're.
think Jeff Keighley was kissing his ass for about an hour and a half on the internet today.
I damn, I don't remember.
All right, while you're looking for that,
Yeah.
game. Here you go. Something to get everybody talking about. Game that wasn't shown that you thought would be shown.
Mario Kart.
Did I call on you, Cliff? Did I call on you to say anything? Yeah, I agree.
You
Mario Kart.
tossed it.
I mean, you asked the question. I'm gonna.
I totally agree, Mario.
Oh,
Kart.
oh no, that's not it. I thought that was it.
It looks like Blood Rain. It's not Blood Rain though.
Yeah, I kind of know. I'm like skimming through and just like looking and.
Let me take a quick look here, real quick.
No, that's not it.
Micro...
You said Xbox showed it off.
Yeah, I think it was a Microsoft presentation and Xbox presentation.
Oh, I know that's Hades. That's not it. You didn't say it was Hades.
Yeah, I know it's not Hades.
Thanks.
Vatican.
What's the other?
Let's see.
It wasn't Diablo. No, it wasn't Diablo. Because you said it was like an 8-bit.
Yeah, it looked like it was
8-bit, right?
like an NES looking. Starfield, no. Halo, no. Forza, no, it wasn't Redfall. Diablo 2.
Was it replaced?
Let me see if I can.
Because that's like it's like a 3D 2D thing.
Oh wait,
and that's like the closest I can see. To see it, it would be that. It looks great. I don't know if you mean replaced or Euden Chronicles 100 Heroes.
Maybe I don't remember the name. I'm on IGN's page now. I'm checking to see if it's not something that I want to see real fast.
And it's like Ascend, but that's not really a 2D
Let me see.
thing. I think the rest of this is just Forza, and then Bethesda saying it. Yeah, I think I want to say either replaced. I don't know if you mean replaced.
No,
Eden.
I think it's
Eden Chronicles.
I think it's Discover the Dark Secret. It might be replaced. Okay, now I see it. Now it is replaced. Sorry, I was reading the headline from IGN.
No, that one looks really good.
Yeah, it's replaced. That's what it's called.
Yeah, that one looks really good. I like the style that they went with that.
What's this?
That one looks really good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, I didn't catch really any of the Microsoft presentation, so but it's old school, and for some reason I'm in the Metroidvanias lately.
Oh
so.
yeah, this game. Yeah, it looked really. When we saw the trailer, it looked really nice.
Yeah, we thought it was
Then
really cool.
there was another game that we saw. I forgot. I think wasn't it during like the PC gaming show Kadetsu that we saw? It had an HD 2D vibe. It was an RPG.
Oh yeah, it's playing off words. It's a title that plays off words. It's called Sacrifier.
Yeah, Sacrifier.
I think that's like Sacrifier. Yeah, because it's a weird title that plays out like sacrifice and fire. So it's like let's just put it together. It's called Sacrifier. Yeah, that one actually looks pretty good too.
Yeah,
I like how that
one
looks pretty good too. I think that's next year. They say that's coming out next year. The game that I thought I would see that I didn't get to see. Okay, I think, or okay, I'll just say that I'll say this. I was hoping to see a new Dragon Ball game reveal. That's what I was hoping to see. I thought E3 would be the place that we would see it, but we end up not seeing it.
What about the Stadia? What Stadia games did you see?
You know what? They didn't show any Stadia stuff there, so I don't know. or I may have skipped it because I was busy doing everything.
I think Ubisoft talked about some stuff was coming to Stadia, but yeah.
Oh yeah, they did. It was.
I was debating over calling you out on that for like 20 minutes ago, or I was going to call you a nerd when you said you had all 3 platforms covered. Like
and
25 minutes
Stadia.
ago. I was like, nerd, all 3, nerd. Or you said something that I was going to be like, nerd.
I don't care. Like this, honestly, this is like the first time that I have like all platforms here, and I'm
same.
You're a lightweight then. I usually
besides the
because I'm never able to. I never have the opportunity or to be able to do it. But this time, like I got lucky, so I have all of them until Switch Pro, which I don't think we're gonna hear until like fall,
late summer,
fall.
Ever.
It's just all hype, or maybe it was that like what did we see, Cliff? That handheld NVIDIA thing that we're like, wait, could that be the Switch Pro?
Talking about the Aya Neo?
Yeah, like we were like, could that be the Switch Pro that everyone is, or can that be like the base model for the Switch Pro? Because they're saying that you can like straight up play like PC games on that that thing.
It's funny though, because cool. like there was like rumors saying that like that Valve was they're working on a new handheld, and like they had the CEO of Valve. We were like, wait, is he gonna announce like the handheld thing that they're working on? But no.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right.
It had Gabe.
Anyone else? Any games that they like? Chichuki's question. Any games that they
were gonna have
Metroid 4? We know that.
No. I wanted Twilight.
Oh, that's we had a friend who was asking about that too.
Yeah, I think we'll get those games because I would love to see I want like pretty much all of the remakes to come to Switch eventually. I hope we get them. I mean, it would be. I mean, Nintendo. It would make a lot of money for Nintendo if they did that. But besides that, I think the one game that was really mysterious is the whole like Donkey Kong thing that was going on.
Because they said that we were supposed to be getting a Donkey Kong reveal sometime soon, and we were like, oh, and then they showed something, and we all said Donkey Kong, but Cliff was like, no, this is Monkey Ball, and we were like, okay.
They said Monkey Ball's going into its 20th anniversary or something, and they had bananas, and I was like, and I thought it was Donkey Kong too, and then I remember that Monkey Ball leaked the night before. I'm like, it's Monkey Ball.
We were
like, oh, this is Donkey Kong. And like Donkey Kong's more than 20 years, so that's not right.
Yeah, and it's weird because like it is Donkey Kong's 40th anniversary, so you would think.
But Donkey Kong's one of those characters where it's just like
we're lucky they still care.
They love him when it's convenient to love him.
Yeah, like we only see him.
They give the love.
Donkey Kong's only a feature. Yeah, Donkey Kong's only a feature. Like we only see him in sports games or fighting games.
If
Or
Donkey
if
Kong didn't basically start the company, we wouldn't see Donkey Kong now.
so they're pretty much like, yeah, we'll just give Donkey Kong a little bit here. Like
I'm
like you
telling
said,
you,
we only
that's
see him
true.
in sports games. I hope we do. Like Donkey Kong was probably one of my first Nintendo characters I actually liked. But you know, I hope we do. I think Donkey Kong 2D, a 2D platform would be better. I don't know if they want to go into the realm of 3D Donkey Kong
God, I hope
again.
not.
Yeah.
That
No,
was
and
then-
last time. Terrible.
Like I would probably say 2D if it wasn't for the fact that Retro's working on Metroid Prime right now. But besides that, I mean, I would love to see like a DK40 as like an anniversary title, like just like 40 players playing like classic arcade Donkey Kong.
And I feel like that's the theme now. Like, didn't someone?
Nothing
Or
wrong
no,
with
it was
that.
a speculation. There's a speculation where they're like 30. I don't know if it was here. We talked about last Friday, like Zelda 35 or something, where we get like
Yeah.
35 players playing a classic. Yeah, you know.
If they
But-
did a dungeon crawler for Zelda, the 35, if they made one to clear a dungeon, it
Yeah.
could work.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
That would be
Like
amazing.
Like with Dompy in Link's Awakening, where you design the dungeon and that gets sent out. You get a random dungeon, 35 people play it, and the first one to clear it. But it's like it makes kind of a bit of sense. That's why it's not going to happen.
Oh man. All right, so we're going to close it out. Anyone have any last things they want to say? Any, thank you letters or love letters to E3 or whatever before we close out today?
I'm not ready to commit to E3, so there'll be no love letter.
Of course you are. You've
They
been
did
there
not
like
make-
4 times.
They didn't make. It's like 8 or 9 times I've been to E3.
Oh yeah,
so
that's a straight up committed relationship, man. What are you talking about? You can't
if-
show up
If I didn't
and
lose
just
the last,
leave.
well, I could. I tell her I'm gonna call her. I'm not gonna call her. I mean, what are you kidding?
Get out of here.
If the last 2 didn't get canceled, I think it would have been 9 and 10 for me. I think.
Yeah.
But they didn't make me happy because they didn't give me Rare Replay. They didn't give me a Banjo-Kazooie game, and they didn't give me Snow Brothers. If you
I was kind of weirdly hoping for a banjo. I think I said that. I think I was like,
You
I
did
was
ask
really
me.
hoping for a banjo game. Weirdly, I'm hoping we see one, and we didn't. So
well, that's fine. We'll wait till
yeah,
next year.
Yeah, like I
What-
feel like that would only happen if Microsoft managed to purchase the team behind the ukulele games.
I think if Ukulele did better,
Oh, Platonic?
we probably would have.
Yeah,
Platonic, I think,
Platonic.
is committed though to being independent because
Yeah.
all of those guys came out of Rare and they don't want to be in that same
Yeah,
circumstance again.
Everybody's got a price.
True.
They came to with a shitload of money, and they'd be like, "Hey, Platonic, you want to be part of Microsoft?" Like, okay.
but I would say that the sequel to ukulele looks really promising. Like it's like a DK, a Donkey Kong Country type of game.
Oh yeah, they did go in that direction, didn't they? for
Yeah,
that?
the sequel.
Yeah, Impossible
looks
Lair was
pretty
not bad. The first one I liked better. The more Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor, the original one. I felt that one was stronger, but the characters were weaker. Like there's not as many unique, interesting characters in the game beyond the main ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. If that is it, thank you everyone for bearing with us as we talk about E3 and we rant on E3 and everyone who watches E3. We talked about everybody here today. We have
Yeah, we
no
did.
remorse about it. We talked about
We
everybody
did kind of
here.
rant on the people watching E3 for a while, didn't we?
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure you guys hit that like button, share, and subscribe to Gamers Realm. Next Friday, you saw the trailer. We are going to be doing a 30th anniversary Zelda podcast featuring none other than Triforce Johnson. That's going to be cool. Hopefully you guys are there for that.
Is that this Friday or next Friday?
Yes, that's
This
this
Friday.
coming Friday.
This Friday, not next
This Friday. New, not next Friday.
You said next Friday.
I mean like the next Friday.
The
Yeah,
internet's gonna call you
It was
out for this
weird.
stuff. because
I
it's
don't
canceled.
coming up.
care. The internet come find me. That's fine. Anyway, that's it, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for Phil Adams again and everyone else showing up today. And we will see you guys next time. You guys take care.
Peace.
All right.
Later.
Yes.